Hey guys, I thought I'd just make a quick video in case some of you were wondering what I've actually done with this. Obviously made the high mount exhaust for the turbo. Turbo came with that adapter. Came off a 2.8 and a bus that a friend of mine was working on, and put the engine, so they put a new engine in it. And the replacement engine came with the turbo, so they just bolted it all on and gave me this one. Yeah, so you can see the dump pipe there. It's a bit close to the firewall, but that's because I've actually made this setup so it'll suit an SC14 supercharger, which I was halfway through installing prior to starting this project entirely. So later on I'll finish off the supercharger mount that's going to go off my aircon mount down there, which I originally pulled out for the supercharging system, and then it bolts on the front, and then it's going to bolt on down the back there as well. So that'll feed from the intake of the turbo, out of the turbo, back into the supercharger, and our supercharger into big water air intercooler. Just going to sit around here where the air filter came out of. And then later on, prior to building that supercharger kit, I'm going to build a new tray. As you can see, mine's a bit worse for wear. And that's going to house probably a big petrol radiator, because not as much airflow down behind the cab. And then keeping the original radiator up here, I'm going to use that for my intercooler system. So the bigger the radiator, the more it cools the water, the more it cools the air. As you can see, also the turbo's right there on the fitting, so even if I wanted to, at the moment I couldn't run the aircon, I'd have to modify that a little bit. But in saying that, if I wasn't planning on running the supercharger, I would have put the turbo a bit more forward obviously, and I'd still have my aircon and all that. But as you can see, it's a little bit tight down the back here as well. There's about 10 mil of space there. I've panel beaded in around the dump pipe there a little bit, just to give me a bit more extra room. What I've done is, rather than having the original little heat shield that came with it, I've done away with that, and I've gone some exhaust wrapping. Normally you just wrap that up and it's all good. But I've just gone a little bit further, and I've wrapped it. As I've wrapped it up, I've just both sides bit of silicone, just rubbed it in there as I went with a little spatula thing. And what that does is, for those that don't know, silicone's really good at heat resistance as well. As you can see, these orange hoses down here, they're aircraft heat protectors for oil lines, hydraulic lines, all that sort of stuff. So I've put them also over my oil lines there, but I'll get back to them in a second. So yeah, I've soaked the heat wrap in the silicone, and also that holds it together real nice and well, so it's not going to come undone on me down the track or anything like that. What else is there? Yeah, so get to the, you can see down here, that blue thing there, this was originally a naturally aspirated engine. So I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are very familiar with the pain in the ass upside down oil filter, which every time, without fail, oil all over the engine. Stupidest idea ever. So what I've done there is I've just gone and bought a eBay universal oil filter relocation kit. Nice and simple. I got this one from Australia because I didn't want to wait postage time from China, so I paid a little bit extra. But then I've routed the oil lines. You can see the orange here, down along there, and then back under here, and I've made a nice little bracket that mounts to the chassis, because there's already a hole going through. You can sort of see my dodgy big bolt spacers down there. I'll get a proper spacer for that in a little bit. So that's on there, nice and solid, just single bolt, bit of a sandwich sort of style setup, and then I've just mounted the relocation kit on top of that, and then there's my filter. That's the same filter as you'd normally run. but like I said, it's a universal system, so you can run a bigger filter or smaller or whatever you want. Make it fit wherever you want. And then, like I said earlier, with the supercharger idea, I've only just done temporary non-intercooled setup here, so it just comes out, step up to the 2.5 inch, down for 180, and then 45 straight in the intake. And then I've got, you know, little boost actuator. The turbo's set to 7.5, so I've just minimized the adjuster all the way out, because I'll just run it at the 7.5 pound for the meantime. And also you can see here, I've buggered off the original steel vacuum line that runs along here, because it sat where the dump pipe's currently sitting. So that's gone, and I just hooked it on there and routed around here, a couple of hose clamps. It's a little bit dodgy. I'm going to get some small, tighter ones in a little bit, and it's still a bit long. You can see it's a bit flexy there. So I'll clean that up in a couple of days, maybe after Christmas or something. My little dodgy little catch can sort of setup. Yeah, bit of steel wool jammed in the end, so yeah, I'll go through. The oil will just catch in the steel wool and then run back down into there. That's the idea anyway. So that's about it. Oh yeah, I suppose I could show you the gauges. Yeah, I've just got my boost gauge here, and then the EGT there. Yeah, this one's sticking out a bit because it's a longer gauge, so I might change that. These are just cheap nasties, so I'll probably change to something better in time to come. And then yeah, I'll just show the exhaust quickly. So you got 3-inch out there, and then you can't really see it, but after the gearbox mount there, it goes to a flex, so it goes from 2.5 inch out of the flex to the 3-inch, and then just finishes there. And yeah, I'll just start it up. Just don't mind the mess, guys, it's just finishing off the cleaning up. Oh, so much better. Not too loud under there. But I don't know if the speakers are working too well, but to me that sounds pretty good. Alright. Cheers guys, hope you maybe get some ideas for your projects down the track. See ya.